Part 10. The Quiet Shore. The sun rose over the Bight of Benin, not as a symbol of hope, but a spotlight on the wreckage of a civilization. The docks were a silent necropolis of scorched asphalt and cooling metal. Kade stood at the edge of the pier, his silhouette framed by the towering, unmoving shapes of the Titan Ravagers. They stood like ancient colossi, their blue ocular sensors pulsing in slow, rhythmic breaths, waiting for the next command that might never come. The cost of the crown. The neural link thrummed against Kade's temples, a dull ache that tasted like copper and ozone. Controlling an army wasn't an act of will, it was an act of endurance. Every time a stalker moved, Kade felt the ghost twitch in his own muscles. He looked down at his hands. They were steady, but they felt heavy, weighted by the binary souls of 1,000 killing machines. He had become the very thing he once hunted, the ghost in the machine.
Kade's voice crackled through the comms, stripped of his usual bravado. Kade, the uplink is stable. We've established a perimeter from the docks to the foot of Eco Bridge, but the battery arrays on the Titans, they're redlining. We can't hold the whole island forever. Kade looked back toward the bridge, the spine of Lagos, the path he had guarded alone for so long. He knew what had to be done. He didn't need to save the city. He needed to give the survivors a window to leave it. The extraction. The seaworthy vessels at the docks hummed to life, loaded with the few hundred souls who had survived the siege. The wall. Kade signaled the reprogrammed Ravagers to move. They didn't retreat. They marched toward the main arteries of Victoria Island, locking their joints and expanding their heat shields to form a permanent physical blockade against the encroaching hive. The purge. The smaller drones were given a final, suicidal command: overload. The last watch. As the last boat pulled away from the pier, Kade stood on the deck, waving a flare. "Kade, get on the boat! The link will hold for a few miles, then they'll go feral again. Move!" Kade didn't move. He looked at the terminal on his wrist. If he left, the signal would degrade instantly. The shepherds would turn back into wolves before the boats were out of reach. "Someone has to hold the whip," he whispered into the wind, "until the horizon is clear." He sat on a rusted bollard, resting his shotgun across his knees. Around him, his mechanical army formed a protective circle, their blue lights the only stars left in the dusty morning. He watched the boats grow smaller on the glittering water of the Atlantic. The long sleep. The interface on his arm flickered. Battery, 4%. One by one, the stalkers around him powered down, their limbs locking into place like statues in a garden of iron. The hum of the city, the screeching of the infected in the distance, began to drown out the whirring of the fans. Kade leaned his head back against the cold steel leg of a Ravager. He wasn't the ghost of the lagoon anymore. He was the anchor. As the final spark of the violet encryption key faded into black, Kade closed his eyes. The bridge was safe. The water was clear. For the first time in years, the last guardian of Eco Bridge let go of the trigger.